going on, everybody? It's your boy Philly Fingers coming here, and today I'm going to try something new. I'm going to do a product review and also a reaction to a video on YouTube called 10 Crazy Theories How The Walking Dead All Ends. The product review I'm going to do is a cider here by Rockdale. You can see that. Cider made with tree berries, and according to the label on this thing, it says it's made from New Zealand's oldest cidery, which I didn't even know was a word. And it says on the back, from craft brewing pioneers, the Mackissian family comes to cider that's unlike any other, combining pure glacial water, the finest crushed New Zealand apples, and vibrant local berries. The ingredients is apples, water, boysenberries, raspberries, black currants, citric acid, yeast, and it's gluten-free, no added sugar and preservatives. So if you want to look it up, either type in like Rockdale or the Mackissian's brewery. You can see how it goes. My marketing artwork and label, I really like it actually. Looks pretty cool, and I like how it's got the three berries in like quite a big font there. And I like the branding of it. So I'm going to give them an 8 out of 10. On aroma, wow, kind of just smells like apple cider, truth be told. You can't really, there's a hint of berry. Alright, let's test this mamma jamma around. You can see, colour is really dark, really rich red. Let's go. Sweet, sour, mostly sweet, berries, bit of apple. That tastes pretty good. Not bad, not bad. Alright, so here we come to the part where we're going to play The Walking Dead, 10 Crazy Theories How It All Ends, and I'm going to react to this along the way while I'm chowing down on this delicious Rockdale cider. I mean, it's really nice. On flavour for that thing, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. That is deliciousness.
The Walking Dead has a seemingly limitless timescale, and with AMC raking in millions from their cash cow, the show's writers are signalling that the end is still very much in the distance. Essentially, The Walking Dead is tracking a group of individuals and observing their new lives, the things they do, the encounters they have, and the people they lose. All of these are just aspects of everyday life for Rick and the gang. That means the show can rumble on and on, with new characters replacing the old and new stories naturally emerging. But it'll have to come to an end at some point, and people are already speculating about how it'll all play out. I'm Ben from What Culture, and here are 10 crazy theories for how it all ends. Number 10. Coma Dream. Oh god, please don't let it be this one! I suppose you could call it a shit ending to an otherwise outstanding television show for wankers. Hashtag shit ending to an otherwise outstanding television show for wankers! Let's start with the obvious one, with Rick waking up from a coma dream. It's a scenario that could be applied.
So the funny thing about this theory is that the guy on Fear the Walking Dead, he's also, he was on drugs and he was also in hospital, and they're saying that maybe he was in a coma. He was also on drugs, and they're also saying he may have been in a coma.
Applied to virtually any TV series in the same ilk as The Walking Dead, and some believe that Herschel Green could be Rick's doctor, Maggie his nurse, and the rest are various patients and hospital staff. Father Gabriel could be brought in to pray for Rick in his coma, and maybe Laurie and Shane were having an affair, and whenever Rick talked to Laurie, that could be real life.
That's 100% not true. There's no way he's talking to her out of a coma.
Coma haze conversations. It's a long shot and far from being the best way to end the show, but don't rule it out just yet. Number 9. Everyone dies.
The show is called The Walking Dead because they are the Walking Dead. They are going to die, I think. So
it's another obvious theory, and one that's already an ongoing process.
Pretty good
Quite
theory,
simply, everyone dies? What if the zombie apocalypse can't be stopped, won't die down, and is the set-in-stone future of the planet? What if every character met a diabolical end at some stage, leaving just Rick alone? It could be for the last few minutes of an episode, or it could stretch out for half a series depending on how brave the writers are feeling. Just Rick, by himself, using everything he's learned, trying to survive when everybody and everything else has died. It will be an immense spectacle if handled right. Really depressing though. Number 8. Find a cure. It seems like an eternity since the group wandered into the Center for Disease Control. There they met Edwin Jenner, the last remaining doctor in the laboratory. He couldn't find the cure and had lost...
I really don't think they're going to find a cure on The Walking Dead. I think that this theory is not really going to happen. Although it could be a happy ending and that would be kind of nice. But same part, like, I don't know, I just don't think they will find a cure.
Lost all hope of doing so, but he was just one man. What if there was a group of scientists somewhere working on the cure, and what if they actually make the breakthrough? This theory does seem unlikely, as it would result in a happy ending for most, something The Walking Dead isn't accustomed to, but it would mean that the surviving group could be treated, and the mission changes from survival to spreading across the nation, dishing out the treatment, though not everyone may want the treatment.
If they're spreading across the nation, they could come across the people of the Fear the Walking Dead, and that would be pretty cool.
Or their old way of life back. Number 7. Army of Survivors defeats the Walkers. The most logical aspect of the show is that there must be a limited amount of walkers.
So here's the problem with this theory, is that they're saying, there's a limited amount of walkers. There's not, because if you die of natural or unnatural causes, you still turn into a zombie. So at the end of the day, the only way to kill all the zombies will be to stop reproducing, or to take them all out while none are getting hurt is pretty hardcore. So I don't
Walkers, they can't reproduce. Don't you think about that, editor? Don't you animate that? Don't you f***ing dare! Meaning that if there are 300 million people...
That's a bit messed up. They're just talking about freaking zombies getting it on. Like, what the...
In the USA, there will be 300 million walkers to finish off. We're led to assume that the world has been taken over, but let's limit this to America for now. Rick's group alone are excellent at dispatching herds of walkers, and they've been doing so for a couple of years at least. A nationwide extermination of the walkers...
They haven't actually taken out much of a whole herd, actually. The herd on season 7 never really got dealt with, because then the wolves came in and a whole bunch of crap went down. Glenn almost died, so they haven't really taken down any massive herds, really. They've taken down a few good amounts. When they were, I think it was the end of season 6 where they cleared out Alexandra. That was pretty cool. They took down a lot of walkers then, but apart from that, really no been mass culling.
It could take years, but it's certainly not impossible.
Then again, I just remembered on season 7 when they did the 2 cars along with the chain in between. Tuk, 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 tuk. That was badass.
And once the walkers are largely cleared out, the rebuilding process can begin. Number 6. Rick turns. It's a simple idea. Rick turns. He's not invincible. He's a human being just like the other man, woman and child roaming the earth, feasting on the living. However, Rick could finally be turned following a heroic act in the end times, but his walker body could be left to roam. We could see life from a walker point of view, hear his thoughts, delve into his mind. It would definitively answer whether or not there's any shred of humanity left after the reanimation process, and would be a completely unique way to end the show.
The funny part about that is they're saying that Rick will turn into a zombie and then hang out with the zombies. On Fear the Walking Dead, where I'm up to watching now, the main character was just... he got bitten on the leg and he's really mind-fucked, and he walked with a herd of zombies like a zombie. So they have kind of tried that idea.
Even if these scenes only last a few tragic minutes. Number 5. Walkers gain intelligence. Okay, so it's crazy curveball theory time. What if the walkers evolved? It's extremely unlikely given that, you know, no reproduction. Don't you animate that! But what would happen if the walkers...
There we go with the reproduction again.
...ever decided to use the brain still sloshing around in their heads? Everyone will be screwed. That's for certain. Now that may seem like a massive long shot, but if we take a slight step down, what if someone could command the walkers. They could be treated like foot soldiers to carry out the master's deeds. It's already happened with the wolves in Season 5, utilizing the strength of walkers in traps, but imagine on a larger scale, one person controlling them like pawns in a bid to stop society.
You're apparently coming up on The Walking Dead is a new villain called the Whisperers, and I don't know a whole bunch about the Whisperers, but from what I've heard they're going to take down Alexandra, and maybe the Whisperers know how to use the zombies to their advantage like that.
From returning back to the way it was. Number 4. Island Paradise. This idea is so simple it's almost stupid. Islands are small and in turn...
That's because it is a stupid idea. The idea of living on an island seems good, like, okay, I'm on an island, but in this specific apocalypse, if you die, you turn into a zombie, regardless of natural or unnatural. And as we've learned also on the Fear the Walking Dead, is that the zombies they don't swim necessarily, but they do kind of float and move along. And they can wash ashore wherever you are. And on Fear the Walking Dead, they had that fence built up and they had to go along each morning, knock them off the fence, which is a possibility, but like, I don't think that's necessarily happy living, having to do that. Then again, like, you also got the threat of people coming as well. You'd have to be prepared for that.
Far easier to clear. If the group can thoroughly clean out a small island, they could live in absolute certainty that walkers can't reach them. A small society could be grown, a sustainable life could be built, a new world can begin. From there, the group could start to move onto land and repopulate, slowly working their way across the country. It's the ultimate happy ending, but it sounds more like a failed experiment at some point between now and the very end of the show. After all, the grand finale is going to be a bloodbath. How can that happen if the group is safe and happy? Number 3. Walkers break down, leaving only humans. The moral questions raised by The Walking Dead are numerous, and there's the obvious theme that the walkers aren't the true enemy. They are merely hurdles, and the humans are the real threat to one another.
Now this, I don't know, this guy has watched Walking Dead much, but the theories he's coming up with on this are pretty random, like this whole theory here about the humans being the streets. Now, we already know that. We've seen the governor, the terminus, the wolves, Negan. Humans are the real threat now, and because they want your shit. That's it. They want your food, they want what you have.
We've slowly seen the disintegration of the walkers from relatively clean, fresh living dead to rotting, decrepit beings. So what if during the last season the walkers are gone entirely, leaving the humans to fight amongst themselves? They would effectively become the new Walking Dead. It would be fascinating to watch humans scrap it out for how the new world should grow, with some wanting their old lives back, while others, who were powerless in the old world, have found authority in the new one. An epic civil war would make for an insane last season, even without the walkers.
Season 8, the titling is All Out War, and I cannot wait for that. And I really hope it's just action, 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 psh, psh, psh. But I also hope that most of the Rick Grimes crew survived that. Like, there's a few characters that if they got killed off would be huge. Like, for example, Daryl, kill him off. That's huge for The Walking Dead. Morgan, he's been there since season 1, so episode 1 even, I think he appeared in. Or it might have been episode 2. But to kill him off would be quite big. Carol as well has been there since the start. Carl, if they killed him off. And on a wee side note about these theories of how it all ends, I have read a document written by the guy who came up with The Walking Dead, and he said that his initial idea was to do the whole aliens come to the Earth thing, and they had flicked the switch or whatever to make the apocalypse happen, and they come to Earth. And that theory was really weird, and I don't think that'll actually happen. But that's what the
Number
author
2.
said.
Rick sacrificed to save Carl and Judith. For this theory to work, you have to look at the basic structure of the show.
Now, with that said, Judith in the comic books died when Laurie had her. The governor was coming in to attack down the prison, and Laurie fell on the baby, and Judith was never born. So I actually do think that they are saving Judith for a shocking moment, and I think she will be killed off quite, like, I don't know, quite badly. Whether Negan takes her out or something like that in the next season, because from what I've heard, it's about like Rick will do anything to survive, and if sacrificing Judith is one of those things, then maybe there's all, because the story is that he doesn't know that Judith is his, or what's her name's. So there you go.
This is Rick's story. The carnage of the world is secondary. This is one man's journey and everyone else is a sideshow. By the end, everyone could be dead and gone apart from Rick, Carl, and Judith, and if there's even the slightest chance of them getting to a safe place, he would sacrifice himself. The future of a then grown-up Carl protecting his walking, talking sister.
They also said in season 8 of The Walking Dead that Carl may not love Rick anymore because of the way Rick was towards Negan when Negan was going to bash Carl's head in. Negan was like, pfft. I mean, Rick was saying, you know, yeah, smack his head, no, I'm not bothered. And like they're saying that Carl maybe will be like, you know what, stuff yous. Like, you're not going to save me.
Doesn't have to be wrapped up, but Rick could be torn to pieces or condemned to a lifetime of roaming as a walker, just to give them a chance. Number 1. The US is the only affected country.
Okay, this series is really stupid and that guy's face is really creepy. We already know that Mexico has been taken on Fear the Walking Dead, so assumingly just because like South America and North America connected doesn't really limit it to that, and it's also the fact that you die regardless of bitten or not, so it's like it would be a bit weird for them to have it just being America when you can die and get it, unless somehow there's been, I don't know, bacteria or something.
One of the most mind-blowing ways the show could end would be with the realization that it's not just North America in complete ruin. There's no official, detailed confirmation that it has spread across the Atlantic, even if the French were involved in finding a cure before the US lost contact. North America would be lost entirely, as well as the US was largely fallen on Fear the Walking Dead. Beyond could have coped with the calamity.
Mexico has largely fallen. Mexico has fallen. There ain't no largely. It's done.
It would alter the entire world, but that's be functioning. Fans never have to see the other nations, but what if the entire shield were climaxed before a sudden land by European troops finally coming to exterminate the
Yeah, I think the army sucks.
remaining population? The troops could...
Apart from our boy Abraham, he was the man. Apart from that, the rest of the army on The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, they all sucked. And I don't think armies from other countries are going to change my opinion on that.
Wipe everyone from America, Rick and co included, in order to begin the rebuilding process. Or they could even send over a jet armed with a deadly nuke to their country, sparing the world from the disease. It's a crazy, crazy theory, but there's no way of ruling it out just yet. And at the end of the day, The Walking Dead has pulled off.
This guy says there's no way of ruling some of these series out, but in reality there is ways of ruling them out, so
many shocking stunts, the grand finale needs to hold a nuclear sorry for the pun, to drop on the audience. Sorry again, for it to make an impact. Sorry again. And that's our list.
So there you go, there's some theories on how The Walking Dead will end, and honestly I don't really like most of them. I really don't think most of them will happen, and if they do, it'll be a bit stupid, but as some other series that have been really big, like Lost for example, apparently the ending to that was just a bit weird, and also kind of a disappointing, well, I thought it was a really good end, was Prison Break, but then they've gone ahead and made a new series and said that Michael Scofield didn't die after all of that. So anyway, if you want to check out this guy's videos, it's whatculture.com, or just look him up on YouTube. The Rochdale 3-berry cider was really, really delicious. I thought it was 9 out of 10 for that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy Philly Fingers. Goodbye.